Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to stop breathing for just 1 second, because what I'm about to tell you is not just a story. It's a code. It's a locked vault. It's something they tried to bury so deep you were never supposed to hear it. Something so dangerous, so powerful, that the moment you know it, you'll never be able to go back to the life you thought was real, because everything they taught you about failure, success, strength, weakness, winners, losers, every single piece was a lie. And I'm here not just to tell you the truth, but to show you what they didn't want you to see, to drag you into the fire that forges kings, to rip the comfort from your soul and replace it with the kind of rage that builds empires. So buckle up, don't blink, and whatever you do, do not trust what you think you know, because when I was at my lowest, when the lights went out and no one came to save me, I discovered something. Something buried beneath every rejection, every betrayal, every heartbreak. I found the real me, the one they couldn't control, the one who didn't need permission to rise. And in that silence, I heard the voice of purpose louder than the noise of doubt. I stood up with my back broken, my name forgotten, and my dreams shattered, but I kept walking. And you know what I learned? I learned that pain doesn't kill you, comfort does, fear doesn't stop you, hesitation does, and the world doesn't owe you a damn thing, not a break, not a handout, not even an apology. So I stopped waiting, stopped hoping, stopped blaming, and I started building. Brick by brick, battle by battle, I built myself from the ashes of every no I ever heard. And when the world laughed, I smiled, because I knew they laugh before they kneel, they doubt before they follow, and they reject before they admire. And if you're still breathing right now, then you still have time, not just to live, but to dominate, to become something so unshakable that storms come to worship your strength. So don't ask for peace, become the war. Don't wait for chances, become the risk. And whatever you do, don't you dare die with your greatness still inside you. And when they told me I wasn't good enough, I didn't argue, I didn't cry, I didn't shrink, I sharpened. I listened to the silence between their words, the doubt hidden in their voices, and I let their rejection become my motivation. Their disbelief became my blueprint, because I realized real strength doesn't need approval, it just needs pressure. And the more they pushed me down, the more I remembered that diamonds don't form in comfort, they form in chaos, under pressure, in the dark, where no one claps for you. And that's where I stayed, not to suffer, but to transform. And let me tell you something, they don't teach you in school. The greatest power you'll ever hold is not talent, not looks, not money. It's hunger. And I'm not talking about food. I'm talking about the kind of hunger that wakes you up at 3 a.m. with fire in your chest and war in your mind. The kind of hunger that doesn't sleep until the dream is real. And when that kind of hunger lives inside you, you don't ask for opportunities, you create them. You don't knock on doors, you kick them down. And every time someone tells you you can't, you smile, not because they're right, but because they just gave you another reason to prove them wrong. Because the world doesn't respect comfort, it respects courage. And courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward while your hands shake, your knees tremble, and your voice cracks, and still saying, I'm not done. Because lions don't need to roar to be dangerous. Real power is quiet, disciplined, and relentless. And if you want to live a life worth remembering, then you better stop chasing applause and start chasing purpose, because applause fades, money runs out, and fame forgets you. But purpose echoes in eternity. And when I finally understood that nobody was coming to save me, that no cavalry was charging over the hill, no hero was going to hand me my destiny, I stopped waiting, I stopped wishing, and I started becoming. Because the truth is, every second you spend hoping someone else will believe in you is a second you waste not believing in yourself. And the moment I owned that, everything changed, because life doesn't reward the passive, it rewards the persistent, the patient, the relentless. The ones who don't just get back up, they get back up stronger, smarter, and meaner. And you know what separates those who make it from those who don't? It's not luck, It's not timing, it's grit. That raw, ruthless refusal to quit. The unshakable mindset that says, break me if you want, I will build again. And I promise you this, the enemy isn't out there, it's in here. It's in the voice that whispers, you're not enough. And the second you learn how to silence that voice, the world opens up like a battlefield waiting to be conquered. And I didn't get here because I was special. I got here because I was obsessed. Obsessed with becoming unbreakable, undeniable, unforgettable. And if you've ever been overlooked, underestimated, unwanted, congratulations, because that's where greatness begins. In the shadows, in the silence, in the moments no one sees when you're bleeding in private and building in pain. And if you're hearing this now, if these words are cutting through the noise in your life, then that means something inside you is still burning, still fighting, still refusing to settle. And that flame, that's your proof that it's not over, not even close. And let me tell you something that they won't put on a billboard, they won't write it in a textbook, they won't preach it from a stage. The people you admire, the ones you see shining, they were forged in silence. They were built in the dark when no one was watching, when no one believed, when everything was falling apart. They stood still and whispered, not yet. They didn't fold, they didn't break, they bled, they cried, but they kept showing up. And that's the secret, showing up, not when it's easy, but when it's hell. Not when it's sunny, but when it storms. Not when you feel strong, but when your soul is crawling and your heart is screaming for rest. And I've seen what happens to people who keep going when everything tells them to quit. They become monsters of focus, beasts of persistence. They become legends not because of what they had, but because of what they refused to let go of. And if you're standing in front of a locked door right now, banging, begging, hoping it opens, stop, kick it down, break the hinges, because greatness doesn't knock, it breaks through. And you're not here to play it safe. You're here to make a mark, a dent, a quake. And I don't care where you started, I care where you're headed. And if the only thing standing between you and your future is fear, then I've got news for you. Fear is a liar. Fear is a ghost. Fear is a wall made of paper and excuses. And the second you walk through it, you realize it was never real. It was never powerful. It just felt big because you kept feeding it with doubt. And now it's time to starve it, kill it, bury it, and rise. And rising isn't just about standing taller. It's about rising above the noise, rising above the excuses, rising above every limit the world tried to weld onto your back like chains. And let me make one thing clear. You weren't born to be average. You weren't designed to live quiet, to die anonymous. You were built with something inside you that scares mediocrity, that threatens every doubt-filled voice that ever told you to play small. And when I looked in the mirror on the days when nothing made sense, when the weight of failure sat heavy on my shoulders, I saw a man who didn't need permission, didn't need praise. I saw a fighter. And you've got to become that too. You've got to stop asking the world to validate your value and start demanding it with your actions, because talk is cheap, dreams are free, but hustle is the cost of glory. And every inch you climb, every battle you survive, every wound you carry, that's your crown, that's your firepower, that's your story being written in blood and sweat and silence. And someday someone's gonna look at you and say, how did you do it? And you'll smile, because they won't know about the nights you screamed into your pillow, the mornings you could barely breathe but still stood up, the days you carried pain like armor and walked into the battlefield called life without blinking. And if no one's told you yet, let me be the first. You are not weak for struggling. You are not broken for bending. You are not lost for wandering. Because even when you were on your knees, even when the world turned its back, you kept your heart beating, and that makes you dangerous, because now you know what it feels like to survive hell. And the only thing scarier than a man who's never been broken is a man who has and got back up anyway. And now, standing here today, I want you to understand this. Your story isn't over, it's just beginning. And no matter how many times you've fallen, no matter how many scars you carry, no matter how heavy the burden feels, you have within you the power to rise, to fight, to conquer, and to rewrite every single page of your life with courage, conviction, and relentless faith. So don't wait for the world to hand you a crown. Build your throne from the rubble of your failures, from the lessons carved deep into your soul. And remember this, the greatest victories are reserved not for the strongest, not for the fastest, but for those who refuse to quit, those who keep moving forward when the world tries to hold them back, those who rise because they understand that greatness is not given, it's earned through sacrifice, through sweat, through the pain that no one else sees. So stand tall, be proud, fight hard, and when the night feels darkest, remember, the dawn is coming and it's yours, waiting for you to take it. So go out there, live with fire, lead with passion, and don't you ever, ever settle for less than what you were born to be. Because you are a force, you are a story worth telling, and your greatness is waiting just on the other side of fear. So rise up, claim it, own it, and never look back, because your time is now, and I'm proud of you. So go make the impossible happen.